Alright then. What is going on, everybody? Welcome to my in-depth guide on Ranger 17 from Dragon Ball Super. Now, he was the third highest vote on that last character vote that I posted. So he is the character that we will be going over today. This is part 1, so this is the base variation of the character. If you want to see the custom variation of the character, please watch part 2. However, before you go and watch that video, if you are not aware of what this character is capable of, I will be going over all of that in this video. So please watch this first if you are not aware of it. Now, for this video, we will be going over the basics, stamina breaks. I'll show you his strengths, weaknesses, his combo loops, combo cancels. I'll show you his super attacks and how to properly link them and use them. And we will be going over optimization after that. So without further ado, why don't we get into it with these stamina breaks first. Now, this character, one of his weaknesses is that he only has one really good stamina break, and that is this one here. Five square, 2 triangle is his best option. This will link both light and heavy stamina break, and is the most consistent online. His other options that I will go over next are not as freaking good, because his other options, unfortunately, require you to either be at a certain point of the map, like this one that I'm going to show you here. Probably the other option that's decent, but it's really not that great because you always have to be at the very top of the map for this to work. Every single one, except for this final uppercut here, every single one of those uppercuts will link light or heavy stamina break. But other than that, as you see right there, sometimes you can get them to fall into it, but other times they can just roll out of that. Recovery is on, but sometimes your opponent can just mash square and then roll out of that online. It usually doesn't work like that very well. It can, but you gotta rely on your opponent not mashing their square button. Other than that, it really only works at the top of the map, because the collision physics from the ceiling cause it to work easier. And then the other option that he has is this. Oh wait, not that. Excuse me. You have to press triangle to do this shockwave here, and then you can spend a bar of stamina. But keep in mind, you are spending a bar of stamina, so it's not ideal. After this final hit, you can spend the bar. I messed up there, but it is possible, just trust me here. You gotta do it kind of fast. But it does cost you stamina, as you see right there, so it's, once again, not ideal. And then the other option that he has is this one here, although this is one that seriously needs adjustment, Dimps. This is talking to Dimps right now. If you see this video, this combo needs hitbox adjustment online. This combo is easily his worst combo online, because both of those punches that I just hit him with often do not connect properly online, and even offline. You see how far they are away from me? Yes, it works properly offline, but even offline, I have to delay this combo in order to make it work properly and make them be able to be set up for a stamina break. You can do it like that if you want, but it's one of those situations where you can just mash square. This is an option right here as well, although once again, lag can cause this combo to not work online. And you can link a heavy off of it as well. And of course, the final hit can also be linked. Same way. And then the actual final hit, you actually can spend the bar and stamina break them right there. But there's another way that you can do it, and I'll show you that real quick. I'm just going to turn the recovery off to simulate their stamina being at the absolute minimum possible. If you want to actually finish this combo, you can just do this. This is something that you can only do when you're behind them, though, so keep that in mind. This combo hits them very, very hard whenever you hit them from the back. See how long they're stuck on the ground? Here, I'll even turn recovery on just so I can show you exactly what I mean. Look at how long he's stuck on the ground for, as opposed to when I hit him from the front with this combo. He can roll out, see? And then the final option that you have is this one here, of course. Spend the bar, light stamina break. So once again, keep in mind, his triangle square combo is very awkward. As you see right there, that did not work. Because I didn't delay it. Even offline, you kind of gotta delay it for that to work. So your best go-to option is either going to be this one here. If your opponent does not know that they can just mash square and get out of it, you can get that. Or this one here is the most consistent offline and online. The only reason the AI isn't teching out of that uppercut combo here is because of the fact the AI is just retarded, plain and simple. It's not aware that it can actually just mash square and roll out of that string before the stamina break can actually hit. Now, this character actually used to be a lot worse. Fun fact, for those of you who might remember, whenever Jiren, this guy, and MUI Goku were first put into the game, this character was unplayable. He was literally broken. He would not work. None of his combos connected online or offline. And he was completely unplayable because he was just so terribly crafted. They probably threw him in literally at the last second and put him in unfinished. Because they had to go in and completely restructure the way he plays in order to make him playable way later on. But back to the actual guide. That is it for the stamina breaks. Now let's get into those loops. Now he does have quite a few. His first loop is this one here, which you can either fly. It's really hard to get the flight off, but it's a lot easier to just backstep. Do not front step, because if you do, as you see right there, I went behind him. And as you see right there, a micro step does not work either. And neither does that. See, it whiffs? Yeah, your best loop is easily this. It doesn't do a lot of damage, but it's easily his best loop because look at how fast I can cancel this. I'm gonna put him on guard from start real quick just so I can show you exactly what I mean. Look at how much pressure I can apply right there. Then go into a grab. Yeah, this is his best cancel and his best loop as a result. And of course, you can also dash cancel all but the very last uppercut. This combo was easily his worst whenever he first released. This combo literally just would not work anytime. Even offline, this combo would not even freaking connect. I am so glad that they patched this guy before they put his custom variation in the game, because he was literally unplayable for the longest time. And then he's also got this one, of course, although you're really only going to want to do this loop when their stamina broken, because they can just tech out of it online. And the other one that he has is this one here. If you are fast enough, you can carry them to the ceiling and keep looping it like that, or if you are at the very top of the ceiling, you can actually do this. See that? You get access to a loop at the very top of the map, which is another reason why this loop here is very, very good, because it always sets you up right at the top of the map, giving you access to another very fast loop. And actually, this is actually his fastest cancel in his arsenal. He has a very fast square triangle. It's almost, I'd honestly say it's just as stupid as Bardolph's. Because look at how I can loop this. Absolutely retarded, right? Yeah. It's actually insane how fast this cancel is. And just to show you what I mean, I'm gonna look at how fast this is, and the gap is very small. Your opponent's gonna have to really try their best to perfect block this gap, or at least try and perfect block the first hit. But this is so fast that it's likely not gonna happen, and you're just gonna outright grab them or something like that. Just look at that. Pretty insane. Then the other loop that he has is this one here. You're gonna do that, but once again, you're always going to want to you're always going to want to do this whenever their stamina is broken, because as you saw right there, they did tech out. But it is an option that you have. And then the other option that he has is this one here. Close to the ground. You can bounce them up with a key blast and keep the combo going. This is another very good option. And then the other loop that he has is this one here, which is just... This one's odd. This one's a very odd loop, and it doesn't really work online in lag, because the way this combo functions is different online. His heavy combo, after this kick, you see how it makes me slide behind them and underneath them like that? Yeah. It sets up a back hit. So you can actually make a loop out of it. You see right there. Pretty insane, right? This is only really possible offline though, so keep that in mind. Because if you do it, if you try and do this online, it's most likely not going to work. But as you see right there, it does work. But whenever you try this online, it's most likely not going to make you slide underneath your opponent unless you delay it a lot. But by the time you get to actually back hit them, they're just going to have the ability to roll. So it's best to do this loop online whenever their stamina is. You can do whatever you want after that. And let's see, I do believe that is his very last. Actually, no, he has this one too. But once again, it is a key loop, so best to do it whenever their stamina are broken, otherwise they can just tech out of it. And that is actually the last loop that he has. He doesn't have a ridiculous amount, but he has just the amount that he needs. And they're actually pretty good loops because the cancels he gets access to are kind of ridiculous. And sometimes, like, look at how stupid this cancel is. I can even loop it if I'm fast enough off the ground. You have to be really fast to do it like that, but it's kind of ridiculous, to be honest. But that's enough of that. Now let's get into his skills. Now, I'm actually gonna have to do a little tinkering real quick, because his Super Soul, time to get serious, I guess. It only activates, I think it's when you're below 25% of your HP, if I'm not mistaken, that's the requirement. You have to be below 25% of your max HP, and depending on that, yeah, right about there is where it will actually trigger. Depending on that, whenever you do not have it activated, your skills are completely sealed off. That includes your evasive skill. And this is one of his weaknesses. In without limitations fights, if somebody is aware that you have this Super Soul, they have the ability to just outright unvanishable you over and over and over again. Because you're completely defenseless outside of your limit burst, or your snap vanishes. However, if they have the ability to unvanishable stamina break you, you're screwed. Or unvanishable ultimate you, you're screwed. You're just going to take the damage unless you limit burst. So, yeah. That's one of the big weaknesses he has. However, the Super Soul actually gives him an extra large percentage to all of his attacks, and an extra large boost to his speed. So it's actually a pretty good Super Soul once it activates. Once it activates, I'd actually go as far as to say it's one of the better Super Souls in the game. The problem is that you're at such a disadvantage when it is not activated. But I had to cut his health real quick so that I'd be able to use the skills. Now, first off, he has Rough Ranger. Rough Ranger is a counter skill. It's not the best counter skill, but it's not the worst. It's got a pretty sizable animation right there, as you see. As long as he's in that pose, I cannot move, and I'm stuck. So, and unfortunately, that's the biggest weakness of the skill, is that it is very easy to punish. In fact, you're stuck there long enough to where almost every character in the game can just walk up to you and stamina break you outright. That's how long you're stuck in that pose. I cannot move until that last frame. But it is able to counter, it is an Omni counter. It is able to counter every single type of skill. Every single type of attack. That's the good thing about it. It doesn't matter what skill you use on me. This will counter everything. Even other counters. Unless it's a grab, it will counter it. I have yet to see this counter like something like Ultrasonic Blitz. This will not stop. Now, if you want to know how to actually animation cancel this, the way that you want to animation cancel this barrier right here is like this. You got to hit that Rough Ranger a second time, and then you can animation cancel it. See? Look at that. And you can also throw another Rough Ranger out if you so desire. It's able to counter every single type of key attack, as you see right there. And I'll show you real quick that it's also able to counter ultimates. And I'm able to get a punish right there. See? Pretty good against the AI, because the AI likes to just throw out ultimate attacks at randomly. And it'll also counter strike attacks, as you're going to see right here. However, when it comes to strike attacks, depending on the type of attack it is, it can be a little bit iffy to actually get this kick here to come out. And as you see right there, it does not pull them into the animation, so they can just kind of iframe through it if they have a certain ability. And as you saw right there, look, you see how it's triggering the barrier instead? Yeah, the actual active frames for this counter, when it comes to the actual strike of the attack, is very inconsistent with certain attacks. Sometimes a square triangle cancel will actually just outright counter the barrier of the skill. Now, this isn't a bad thing, because like I said, if you just press Rough Ranger a second time, you can cancel that. But it's still a little bit... It would be pretty bad, though, if it weren't for the fact that you can animation cancel it, because I'll try and demonstrate it here. Okay, it's actually triggering now. It's random, that's the thing. Depending on the attack, it can sometimes just not work. But it's got a very good amount of damage, as you see right there. It's just the barrier triggering can be a little bit detrimental if you don't know how to cancel it, because you're stuck in that barrier for a very long time if it activates. And as you see right there, like I said, it doesn't pull you into the animation, so they can't dodge it with things like meteor crash canceling. Let's see here. But that's the last of what that skill is capable of. It's just a very decent counter. It's pretty fair. It's kind of like Ultrasonic Blitz in a way. It's frame perfect. Whenever he's got his hands out like that, like giving you that pose, like, what's up? Come on. That kind of thing. Yeah. When he's in that pose, those are the active frames. But once his thumb twitches right there, yeah, that's where the active frames end. Now, the other skill that he has access to is Side Bridge. And Side Bridge is actually a very, very good skill. Now, it used to be pretty garbage. I will be 100% honest with you. This skill was absolute booty cheeks at one point. It's an infinite combo starter, as you see right there. Does pretty good damage. You can toss it out after a knockback. Apply pressure on him if you want. Right there, if I wanted to, after that missed, I could have tossed out another one. And because it always comes back, look at that. See that? Yeah. Pretty good. It's just a solid skill all around. There's no way you can go wrong with this skill. It's actually still underrated, even though it got a really good buff. I don't know why I don't see anybody use this skill, other than the fact that there's just better skills in the game. But look at that damage. That's the other thing, like, look at the damage he's able to do when his super skill is activated. Like, look at that. That's insanity. No ultimate attack, no nothing. 18k, over 18k. Yeah, when his super soul is activated, he hits like a freaking truck because of that extra large percentage increase. But that's Side Bridge. It's just a good skill. Plain and simple. It always comes back. It is one of those skills that actually comes back regardless if you hit me or not, which is another good thing about it. And you can actually just chain it outright if you want. And you can see that's pretty dumb. Look at the damage on that. Pretty insane, to be honest. This move, like I said, this move used to be booty cheeks. But now let's get into his other skill, and that's After Image. This is honestly a worse counter than Rough Ranger, to be just to be perfectly honest with you. The cancel windows, it has no cancel window. It's a frame perfect timing counter skill, and it doesn't even attack them. And unlike GT Vegeta's new skill, which, as I mentioned in GT Vegeta's guide, it's basically a much better version of this skill combined with Rough Ranger. It's like if this skill and Rough Ranger had a baby. It's like that's how that skill functions. because that skill allows me to immediately start attacking you after I vanish with it. However, After Image does not do that. I'll just try and demonstrate that to you real quick. Let me just put the AI on strong real quick. See how he's able to immediately back hit me? Yeah. It can stop you from grabs, but as you see right there, frame perfect timing. The only thing you can do is toss it out a second time if your opponent's trying to flank you. Or not flank you, but anti-flank you. But right there, frame perfect timing. And as you see right there, you cannot cancel it immediately. So if your opponent is trying to anti-flank you with a fast back hit like Jiren's, yeah, you're kind of just a sitting duck. See? It's not that good of a skill. And the other problem that this skill has is that often online, whenever you are in this pose, for some reason, sometimes your opponent will just straight up punch through you and it won't trigger the actual counter. So that's another reason why this skill is kind of bad, to be honest. And then he has maximum charge. It's just there. Nobody really cares about that. And then he's got full power energy blast volley. Like full power energy wave, it's just an all-around solid 3-bar ultimate attack, very easy to combo into. Every single knockback will link this because all the blasts will always home in. If you want, you can actually do this. There's actually something that you can do with that involving tech that I'll show you later on. But let's see here. Let me put him on normal real quick. And get that health back up. Sorry guys, I'm having to do this constantly because that Super Soul will constantly seal off my skills if I don't. And then the other skill that he has is Super Electric Strike. Just a solid 3-bar skill. It's better in raids. It's actually one of the best skills for raids. It just does so much damage for some reason to raid bosses, and it constantly just eats through other attacks. Like if somebody's spamming Emperor's Death Beam and stunning the boss with that, this will just steal damage from that person. It just has superior attack frames for some reason. I don't know. But it's got a very good amount of range. It's pretty fast at traveling, actually. As you see right there, it travels very far and fast. However, the issue with this skill is that it's not very practical to use outside of PvE. Now, don't get me wrong, you can do something like this. Like this here. When they're stamina broken, you can do that to them, but it's just not ideal because you're sacrificing damage at that point. But that's it for the attacks. Now his evasive skill is Energy Field. It's a 2-bar evasive. It's actually a solid 2-bar evasive. Don't get me wrong, but there are better skills in the game that do the exact same thing. Vanisher Guard comes to mind. Vanisher Guard is a much better skill at the cost of 3 bars of stamina, but it just protects you from everything. This does not protect you from everything. Now, it will bounce your opponent off of you if they try and punch you, but unfortunately that does no damage, there's no combo extension, and sometimes you can just outright get smacked out of this by melee attacks, even though it's supposed to deflect melee attacks. But it will protect you from every single type of blast. Let me just put him on Ultimate 2 real quick. Come on, Jiren. As you see right there, it's the exact same barrier that is brought up whenever you use Rough Ranger. In fact, that's where Rough Ranger gets its barrier from, is this skill. It costs 2 bars of ki. I mean, it costs 2 bars of stamina, and it uses ki up as long as you hold it down. It's just like Perfect Cell's evasive, only slightly better in a way. Because Perfect Cell's evasive just... for some reason, there are many ki supers in the game that it just cannot deflect. And you still take damage. In fact, there was a glitch at one point involving Emperor's Death Beam with that skill, where if I used freaking Cell's, his energy barrier skill, good grief, dude, it would just shred your health. It would do like 55k, it would like double the damage you take. It was ridiculous. I don't know what was wrong with its hitbox, but it was pretty stupid. But that's it for the skills. His skills are decent, don't get me wrong, but his only offensive skill is Side Bridge, and it's not the best offensive skill. Don't get me wrong, it's a solid skill, but there are much better skills in this game that can do basically the exact same thing. In Rough Ranger, like I said, it's got a very fatal flaw where you can just be outright stamina broken if your opponent sees it coming. Thankfully, though, it cannot be key stunned as long as you're in those active frames. Unlike most counters, actually can't stop key stuns. So your opponent, if they're doing this constantly, they can just harass you with it and stop you from ever throwing out a counter. But with this skill, fortunately, they have to wait a couple seconds before they can key stun you. But like I said, that fatal flaw of being able to be outright stamina broken is no deal. Now then, I will just get into some basic combos with him real quick. I'm just going to show you what he's able to do basically without his super skills. Hold on a sec. Like I said, see right there? You cannot do a charge ki blast after that combo. It just does not work. I've tried it. And as you see right there, his damage is not that bad, even when his Super Soul's nerfing him. Cannot throw a charge ki blast after that combo unless you're right here. Unless you're like right at the tip. Like you cannot be anywhere near the ceiling to be able to hit with a charge ki blast after that combo. Best way to always finish off your combos like that is with a charge ki blast. So keep in mind, the map can mess it up. See? Even when they're flat on their face, it doesn't work. You can do something like this. See that? See how it missed? Because I did the kick. That will not work online. Usually the combo actually does work on the combo actually does hit online, but it won't let you set up the back hit. That's another example that you can do right there. You cannot loop this after those uppercuts as you saw right there. It just does not work. See? You have to be very fast for this to work. And if your opponent's being stubborn, you can always do that. Or actually, there's actually one tech that you can do with this this kick here. After doing a triangle back hit, you can go into one more triangle and he'll always slide forward with this slide kick. It's very, very weird. I don't know why it works this way, but for some reason it makes him always turn around and hit the opposite direction with this kick. So you could kind of do this if you want. If you want, you can fake your opponent out by back hitting the opposite direction, baiting them in, and then hitting them with that slide kick. And because that slide kick will almost always slide under them unless you're having a lot of lag online, or just a moderate amount of lag, it will slide underneath them and set them up for another combo. Now let me show you some combos involving his skills. We're gonna have to set it to danger again. Oh, wait, hold on. Not unlimited. Unlimited, we'll just make it reset all the way. Now, another combo that you can do is this. Oh, hold on. See right there? If you want to actually link this combo here, see right there? It's a really funny skill. It's inconsistent to be able to actually tech out of it. Your opponent can mash square and sometimes not be able to get out of it. You can add a little bit of tech. You can add a little bit of extra damage by using side bridge. But as you see right there, they can tech out of it after that combo. Like I said, side bridge is his only offensive skill, so he's kind of lacking in that department. As you see right there, you cannot link that. As you see right there, they were able to tech out of that. That as well. See? It's very inconsistent for the AI to be able to actually tech out of this combo here. But you can actually do something like this here. Oh, hold on. The idea is that you'd want to do this combo here. You want to go into square triangle, set them up to be hit by the side bridge. He's able to get a lot of damage off, as you see. Especially with this combo. His strongest combo hits super duper hard whenever that super soul is actually activated. Those are just examples of how you can link side bridge. You can even link it like that if you want. Because it actually does curve up, as you see right there, but look, he was able to tech. This is one of the reasons I say the side bridge is not the best skill for this kind of thing, is that the inconsistency of the ability to tech out of it just makes it a little bit awkward. See? Sure, you can create it as like a trap. You can kind of use it as like a trap or something like that, but that's it. I'm going to set the key to unlimited real quick. Now I'm going to just show you some ways to combo into, I'm just going to show you some basic kill combos, alright? You can do whatever you want after that. Oh, shoot. Hold on a sec. This is one of the reasons that I was reluctant to do a guide on this guy, is because his Super Soul makes it a lot more difficult than other characters. Because I have to constantly reset the HP because there's no setting to actually turn off the Super Soul. So I have to constantly reset it. Going Super Electric Strike after that. Bam. Pretty ridiculous damage, as you see right there. Have to let him recover his health real quick. Show you a few more examples. I'm not going to show you as many as I do in the other videos because there's just too many. If the connection isn't absolute garbage, that will work. Come on, Jiren, recover. There we go. Get that. See what I did right there? That's actually one tech that you can do with Super Electric Strike if you want to actually kill them. That shockwave that happens after his square triangle triangle combo, it has basically unlimited range. It doesn't only pop out just in front of him. This literally has unlimited range. It will hit them anywhere that he's able to hit them with it. That was the tech that I wanted to show you involving that. That's pretty basic tech. It's just key trickery tech. But that is pretty much it for the video, everybody. If you like this video, please leave a like, maybe share, and subscribe if you are new to my channel. I do my best to upload as often as I possibly can. And I will see you all in part 2. Thank you for watching.